everyone since Thursday has been waiting with bated breath to get your take on what happened with Jon Jones. We find out on Thursday morning that he has been arrested once again in Albuquerque. Next hearing is April 8th. A DWI, didn't have insurance. They had the gun found in his car. And so everyone is wondering what DC, the man who will forever be linked to Jon Jones, thinks about all of this. What were your thoughts when you found out this latest news regarding your rival, Jon Jones?
You know what was crazy? Wait, what did you say at the beginning? He got arrested. Oh, Jon Jones has an ability, right? Like, just think about this, right? Jon Jones, he gets himself into trouble. But every time he gets into trouble, there's always something that comes along bigger, and he kind of like runs it out of the news. What was it the first couple times? Like, it was like he got in trouble, and then something else happened, and then something else happened. Like he's been lucky in a sense that when he's going through stuff, there's always been like other things that kind of come and almost like overtake the news of him being in trouble.
But by the way, that wasn't the case on Thursday when this happened. There was literally nothing going on. You make it sounds a horrible time to get in trouble.
I mean, but this would go, but this would be going on for weeks, you know, for an athlete of his caliber and of his notoriety. Normally, you know what I'm saying? Like, people they be talking about it today. It was on. I thought I saw Max Kellerman discussing it last week. It was big news. But with that being said, you know, I was when it was happening, people started putting up these videos of Jones and I. We did a sit down with Joe Rogan a while back, and I was talking about how it would be very difficult for him to change if nothing around him changed. And for a guy that has these issues, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, that dead time is your worst enemy, because all those vices start to pull at you whenever you're just sitting home with nothing to do, especially if you're not a person that does that a lot. And seeing him get into trouble again, you know, a lot of people in my circle, they text me almost celebratory, but that's not me. Like, I didn't celebrate it. I didn't celebrate the kid getting in trouble again. I don't think that you should celebrate someone in their darkest celebrate or dance on someone's grave in their darkest moments, because you don't do that to people, man. Because ultimately, are you a human being, or does this competition overtake everything? And I didn't find any joy in seeing that kid, or the guy. I mean, at 30, he's now the man, 32 years old. I used to call him a kid when he was 23. At 32 years old, I did not enjoy seeing that man in that situation again, because it's just bad. Because it's not just him. You know, he's got daughters. He's got a wife or fiance or a girlfriend. He's got so many things at home that are affected by this and affected by his actions and his behavior. But again, it won't change. It won't change until something or the people around him change. You know, I think about my rivalry with Jones, and I'm not some black power guy, you know, like, but like, as much as I dislike him in terms of personally, I hate him in a lot of ways, right? And I think a lot of it's all the wasted talent and potential to be such a master star. But I hate seeing a young black athlete in that situation even more than my disdain for him. Like, I don't like seeing that, because it's almost what people expect, and I don't want that to be the way it is for these young athletes.
Is it possible when you see this, when you see the mugshot, the videos, all that, is it possible, despite how personal it got between you two, that you actually feel kind of bad for him?
Oh, it's awful. I mean, I got the video from someone, and I couldn't even really watch it all the way through, because he's obviously messed up. Like, he's drunk, you know, he's been drinking or doing something. He did something wrong. And it's like, you can watch people. I've watched people my whole life get arrested and get into trouble, and they think they can put on this sweet face, right? Yes, sir. No, sir. And it's like all the wrong things. Like, you have to understand that when you're in trouble like that, like, the more you talk, the worse it is. Because ultimately, like, they're not necessarily trying to like look, they're trying to look out for the safety of everybody, the police, but he's not trying. The guy's not trying to help Jon Jones. You don't try like, oh, here we go again with this, because it brings all kind of unwanted attention to the police department. These are our unsung heroes, right? These people don't want to be in the news media every day. They don't want to be like on the front page, UFC champion arrested by some police officer, and they don't want that. These guys want to do their job, and they want to be in the shadows and protecting us without being like on the front page while being on the front line. And it's just like, again, we got to deal with this again. And I'm watching him, and it's just like, man, this dude is messed up. Like, you just can't help but feel like the kid's messed up. And it's just a sad. It's like watching Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry and all those guys all over again.
Another one is Lawrence Taylor that was brought to my
Oh,
attention
Lawrence
by.
Taylor. Is that crazy? Is that not the craziest thing though? Right? You see all these great legends of the sport, like they're on TV now. They're doing things still in the sport. Where's Lawrence Taylor? Is Lawrence Taylor alive?
He is alive, but he's had a very troubled past and a lot of parallels there. Officially, by the way, I just want to mention he was arrested in New Mexico, in Albuquerque to be exact, for aggravated DWI, negligent use of a firearm, early Thursday morning. He was also charged with possession of an open container and no proof of insurance. He's not in custody anymore. Like I said, his next hearing is April 8th. But it does, when this happens, DC, I think back to like my previous interviews with him, right? And I did two big ones over the past year and a half. The main one that comes to mind is the one not that I just did with him in Albuquerque, but in November of 2018, when I said to him, hey, your life is a 30 for 30, and you're kind of going down that path that, we've seen other troubled athletes go down. But perhaps if you're clean for the next 10 years, perhaps you can change that narrative about your life. And he's like, oh, 10 years, I can't guarantee that. That's way too long. I like to drink. I still like to drink. In fact, when I sat down with him in late January, he was telling me that he was still drinking leading up to the Reyes fight. Everyone made a big deal about Conor drinking leading up to the Khabib fight. And I was shocked that no one was making a big deal about Jon drinking leading up to that fight. Also, he told me in November of 2018 that, he checked himself into rehab after his mom died and after he got stripped of the belt after beating you. And he told me he was going to go every summer to rehab to try to cleanse himself. Well, I asked him in January, did you go back to rehab? He said, no, I don't need it. These are all warning signs for me that this is a man who hasn't changed, who hasn't figured it out. And I worry about this. He's still 32, right? What happens when he's 41? If he doesn't change his ways, what happens when he's 42 when no one's asking him to fight? Because when he comes back, the UFC is going to put him in another big fight. He's going to be booked again, and the train will keep rolling along. Do you see anything in this guy that allows you to believe that he is going to change his ways, or are we going down a very, very dangerous path?
I got to be honest, man. For as much as I don't enjoy that, I don't bask in it. I don't. It's not going to change, Ariel. As much as it sucks, it's not until someone takes a drastic action to show him that the behavior is unacceptable. I mean, you got to imagine how many times that he's done this, right? From the drug failures to the getting suspended to the actual, because it's all elevated, right? It's gone from bad to worse to worse to worse. And this is not worse on its own, I imagine, because he was just sitting there in his car, right?
But there was a gunshot, right? The police allege
yeah.
that they heard a gunshot. Could you imagine if you're drunk? Remember Plexico Burris shot himself at a club?
But what
this could
was
be
he
fatal.
shooting at?
They haven't determined just yet. He said he didn't shoot the gun. But the thing is, like, you put two and two together. If you're intoxicated, you're sitting in your car. First of all, why are you in your car at 1 a.m.? When you're telling people a couple of days, he was handling this quarantine thing very well. He was telling people stay at home.
Well, but that's the biggest problem, right? That's the biggest problem. It's like it's just not real. It's never been real. So even when he's on the front lines with the coronavirus and the quarantine, it's not real. It's all very shallow, right? Because you know that this hand might be like that in front of you waving, but the other hand's like holding it behind the back, like taking something from you. It's always been like that, and it won't change. So when he's on the front line saying stay at home, at night, the moment he gets an opportunity, he sneaks out and goes and does whatever he wants. That's what they do. But I mean, that's what people with problems do. And this kid has a problem. So regardless of how I feel, it's not going to change until somebody takes a drastic action. And I don't think he's going to get it in his relationship because, I mean, if and I don't want to speak on a man's personal relationship. But you would think that at this point, something drastic in that would have happened already with all the issues. Um, the UFC has to take an action. Um,
What
I
could that be,
always
though?
said,
They
I don't
stripped him
know,
already
because,
once.
bro, I always said this in regards to him and I, right? Like when he would get in trouble for steroids, I was 38 years old. He was 25, 26. It's only time for a young guy. And they had all the time in the world, right? So if he was doing things that are illegal, it's like it's only time, right? He's gone for a year. So what? Still keep your money. You know what I'm saying? You won the fight. Like it's just time. Now they need to actually do something drastic to try to help this kid. It's not or this man. You can't even. It's no more. Just try like he's gonna change because it's not gonna happen, and it's only gonna continue to escalate until it's something that he cannot recover from.
It's amazing because he has so much to lose now, right? Again, what happens when he has nothing to lose? How's he going to spend his time when no one's asking him to do interviews or to fight or to get paid a lot, go to autograph signings? That to me truly, and if you've studied the life of the likes of
It
Lawrence
goes
Taylor
really bad.
and
It
Doc
goes
Good, and
really
then it
bad.
goes really. So, but you're telling me, it's been personal between you two. He's talked about your family, right? He has
Yep, yep, yep.
reveled in your down moments. He said,
Mhm,
"I remember after UFC 182, I hope Daniel's somewhere crying right now." He has made it
mhm,
very personal. You're telling me there's no the juxtaposition between your two lives right now. I remember
mhm.
he was getting arrested, and I saw on your Instagram you're sitting at home watching Star Wars with your kids, getting paid for that. Well done, Disney.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family. And it's like
Mhm.
one man is winning right now, one man is not, even though the other guy technically has 2 wins over him.
When
There's no part of you who's like, man, screw you. There's no part of you that's reveling in his demise.
I'm really not that type of person, honestly. Like I know it would be easy to do that right now, but that's just not me. I don't like when someone struggles because I think about everything else. I think about those kids. I think about the wife and his father, and I just think that there's a lot of people that are getting hurt by this, and it's not just Jones. But I just know that those people, um, they're probably going to continue to hurt because history dictates what happens a lot of times, and um, what that shows is that that guy has just always been messed up, man, and it does not seem like he wants to change. I mean, he sat there and told you on camera, still drinks, still does all the things that gets him in trouble. But no, I'm the rival, right? I'm the guy that should feel like that. But what does the public think at this point? Like what do you think? Like how do you view a guy like that? Because it's easy when they're young, mid-20s, to say, oh, they're young. Now, as a 32-year-old man, you got to be like, yo, enough is enough, right?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.